Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Bikes. Today we're going to be adding the Mark 1 Zero Gravity windscreen. I have already removed the 6 bolts that are in the front. So it is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What I do, just in case you're worried about losing them, is I keep them in order, kind of how they actually would go. Just set them down. The reason I do that is because the front 4 bolts are actually slightly shorter or slightly longer than the back 2 bolts. You see I'm also missing a nut. These are from the mirrors, so there's 2 on the left and 1 over here on the right. The bike's got 30 miles on it. I went to take the mirrors off and I'm missing a nut. I have a feeling it was never on there. But just something to be aware of when you buy a brand new bike. Like, just because it's brand new doesn't mean it's going to have everything. Now, it could have just popped off, but this is actually not the first time I've had issues with mirrors with brand new bikes. My last CBR came with a set of fully stripped out bolts in the one side, which then stopped me from being able to replace this as well. It was a nightmare. That's it on the Gixxer. A couple things to consider: those bolts are right underneath the actual mirrors. They're going to come right out from under there. Alright, back out again. And then the next thing you got to do is pull these mirrors out to allow yourself a little bit of separation to wiggle this out. And something to consider is that they have metal posts. You want to be careful with this front fairing piece, the nose fairing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull them out and I'm going to wrap them in tape, and then when I go to set them down, I'm just going to set a microfiber cloth down to ease them on, and they'll hang by the actual electrical wires for the turn signals. So I'm going to go grab some tape and I'll be back in a sec. So here's how it looks with the mirrors out. Got the masking tape wrapped around the metal. They're set right on these microfiber cloths, give it a little bit of a distance so it's not scratching anything. And then we're just going to go ahead and wiggle. Now when you go do this, there's going to be 2 of these kind of rubber screw-in kind of grommets. They look like these right here. So some of them are going to pop out down the bottom. I believe the middle 2 stay put and the top 2 are going to come with it too, and then we will replace them onto the new one. The bottom 2 are going to be your hardest part, and you're going to kind of have to pry a little bit. Do not pry from right here. You risk snapping the piece. I will also say it's cold here right now, so if it's cold where you are, be even more careful as well, because the fairings can crack a lot easier. And even if you get close and you're thinking like, oh man, I don't really want to force it, you can try putting a heat gun to it a little bit of a distance, give yourself a little bit more pliability as you're kind of working with it. So I'm going to go ahead and get this off, and then we'll pick up on the next one. Alright, so the windscreens are out. Here's a brief comparison to the 2 side by side. Here's the Zero Gravity Mark 1 next to our stock series. What I'll do is I'll pull off to the side here and kind of give you an idea. The Zero Gravity has a slightly higher pitch, but there is the cutout in the front of it, which allows you to get your head in there when you're tucked. I was right. The rubber grommets that come out are going to be the front and the back and stuff. So you want the grooves or the actual like where the bit grips to be on the inside of the windscreen. You still want to push through with the fat side. So when you go to push through, to push in from the bottom and push the fat side up so that the threads are on the bottom part of the windscreen. I'm going to go ahead and get these put on now. Alright, so we got the grommets in. Like I said, they go groove side up. When you go to feed those, you want to feed them with the thicker side, which is going to go on the bottom. Feed them through with that thick side. It's squishy. The top part with the threads isn't going to be able to constrict far enough to get in there. I did push a couple of them through with an actual screwdriver to kind of feed them through that direction just because of the width of them. But overall, they're relatively easy to get in. You just want to make sure you go in fat side first. Alright, so I got these 6 main fairing bolts back on. I got the windscreen put on, obviously. A couple things to just kind of note for yourself when you go to do this. With the rubber grommets that are in the bottom 2, what I did was I took some high temp grease and just kind of touched the top of it so that when I went to slide it back, it was able to slide on this front part of this fairing a little bit easier without pulling it out, and it made a world of a difference. So I'm going to go ahead and get the mirrors put back on, get the bolts put back on, take a couple of side shots, and I'll hit you with those now.